Yo, 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 what's up, awesome otaku fam? It's your host, J-Rock Freak, back at you with another episode of Reading with an Otaku. And today, we're diving into a book that's been buzzing around the fantasy community, a historical fantasy gem from an author you probably already know and love. Get ready, because we're talking about none other than Leigh Bardugo's latest, The Familiar. Now you know how I roll on this channel. Sometimes, with my overflowing TBR pile, I don't get to physically read every single book cover to cover right away. But I do make sure to keep up with the latest releases, and for this one, I actually listened to a super detailed, chapter-by-chapter summary. That means I've got the full scope of the story to give you a solid highlight and a tantalizing teaser, without spoiling all the nuanced bits for your own read-through. Think of this as your sneak peek into a world of magic, intrigue, and forbidden romance in 17th century Spain. So let's set the scene, shall we? The Familiar plunges us into the gritty, superstitious world of Royal Madrid, a place where magic is feared and hidden, and the Spanish Inquisition lurks around every corner. Our protagonist is Luzia Catado, a young scullery maid. Now, Luzia isn't just any scullery maid. She possesses a raw, untamed talent for magic. Specifically, a knack for animating inanimate objects with her will. It's the kind of magic that could get her burned at the pyre if discovered. And inevitably, it is discovered. Her ruthless, social climbing employer, Valentina, catches wind of Luzia's abilities and, seeing an opportunity, forces her to perform public miracles to impress the elite. This public display, however, draws the wrong kind of attention, or perhaps the right kind, depending on how you look at it. Luzia is approached by the powerful and cunning Victor de Paredes, a man with a singular ambition, to regain the king's favor. And how does he plan to do this? By producing a holy magic user to serve the king in a grand competition hosted by Antonio Perez, another influential figure desperate for royal approval. In this high-stakes game, Luzia isn't alone. Victor tasks his enigmatic and impossibly alluring servant, Sanangel, with training her. Sanangel is a master of arcane arts, a familiar whose life is tied to the de Paredes line through an ancient, binding deal. As Luzia's powers grow under his tutelage, a deep, undeniable connection sparks between them, blossoming into a forbidden romance that feels both incredibly dangerous and deeply compelling. But Sanangel harbors a secret plan. He aims for Luzia to become the champion, strike a deal with her that mirrors his own, and in doing so, finally sever the chains of his eternal servitude. The stakes couldn't be higher for both of them. Luzia's journey isn't just about mastering her powers. It's about navigating a treacherous world of social ladders and deadly rivals. She has to prove herself in a series of 3 trials against other formidable competitors: the cunning Gracia, the beauty; the seemingly devout Teoda, the holy child; and the unassuming Fortun, the farmer's son. Each trial is designed to test their magical prowess and loyalty. Things get incredibly intense during the second trial when dark, shadowy forces attack, throwing the competition into chaos. While Teoda is framed and arrested by the dreaded Inquisition, it's actually Fortun who's behind some serious backstabbing. And just when you think you've got a handle on the political machinations, everything gets flipped on its head during the third trial when it's revealed that Perez has completely fallen out of the king's good graces and has had to flee. In the ensuing pandemonium, Luzia herself is arrested by the Inquisition and finds herself locked in a cell with Teoda. They manage a desperate escape attempt, and Teoda gets free, but Luzia is tragically recaptured. Now this is where it gets really dramatic. At the Inquisition tribunal, both Luzia and Sanangel make a jaw-dropping move. They present themselves as servants of the devil. Why? To escape Victor's horrifying control, even if it means facing the fiery judgment of the pyre. There's this incredibly public sentencing in Madrid, with the king himself in attendance. You can just picture the tension, right? They're tied up, the pyre is lit, and it looks like it's all over. But this is Leigh Bardugo we're talking about. In a last, desperate act, Luzia uses her formidable power to transport herself and Sanangel away from the inferno, escaping to Valencia to forge a new life together. The crowd believes them dead, but significantly, their remains are never found in the ashes. Talk about a dramatic exit. Now, for my personal take, and remember, this is just my otaku opinion. After listening to the full summary, while the overall premise of hidden magic, forbidden romance, and a high-stakes competition set in historical Spain definitely sounded intriguing, I have to admit, it didn't quite ignite my burning passion for a full read-through as much as I'd hoped. For me, sometimes trial-based narratives need to feel super impactful and incredibly high stakes for me to fully get into them, and I wasn't quite there with this one. However, the romance aspect between Lucia and Sanangel is definitely a powerful draw, and if you're a fan of those deep, complicated, and potentially tragic love stories, this book might absolutely sweep you off your feet. Ultimately, The Familiar offers a deep dive into a richly imagined historical Spain, packed with political intrigue, a unique magic system, and a love story that defies the odds. If you're a longtime Leigh Bardugo fan, especially if you enjoyed the darker, more intricate side of her storytelling, or if you just love historical fantasy with a strong romantic core and characters fighting for their freedom against insurmountable odds, then The Familiar might be exactly what you're looking for. It's a complex and layered story that I think a lot of you fantasy lovers out there will truly appreciate, even if it wasn't my personal cup of tea for a full read. So, have you read The Familiar, or is it on your TBR? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What other historical fantasies are blowing your mind right now? As always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my otaku adventures. Thanks for hanging out with me today, awesome readers. Keep reading, keep dreaming, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.